favorite jackpot game. This is Powerball. Good evening, America. I'm Laura Johnson. Tonight we have another life-changing jackpot for you. It's worth an estimated $149.7 million. So get those tickets out. Let's play. That first number up is 66, followed by the number 50. Tonight we're going to meet Gina Jones, who won $50,000 playing Powerball. Congratulations, Gina. Now for the rest of those numbers, we've got 61, 39, rounding it out tonight with the number 2. Your Powerball number tonight is 15, and your Power Play multiplier is 2. Let's take a look at those numbers one last time, and we'll see you back here Monday night. Good night, everyone.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, NBC 26 at 11.
Outrage and mourning in Uvalde, Texas tonight as authorities investigate how police handled the active shooter situation that left 21 people dead in an elementary school shooting. Plus, how are the peaches holding up after a late season freeze this past winter? We're checking in with local growers as the farmers markets open for the summer. But first, we're learning multiple people have been sent to the hospital after a shooting in Barnwell today. This is what the sheriff's office posted to Facebook. Authorities say the shooting took place near Union Circle, causing damage to cars and reportedly sending several people to the hospital. They're asking people with any information about the incident to either call them at the number listed there in that post on your screen or reach out to the Crime Stoppers hotline. Now we're taking things over to First Alert meteorologist. Thanks so much for that, Mikal. And speaking of Memorial Day, it marks the unofficial start to summer, and this weekend a local farmers market opened up with fresh peaches for sale. Our Craig Allison joins us live in the studio now with what they're expecting this year after a late freeze may have added a little extra of a challenge. Craig?
It's been a couple of months, but cold temperatures that stayed with the CSRA into early March are impacting peach season this year. I talked with Sarah's Fresh Market and some happy customers about moving forward into summer. Jimmy Hughes has been taking his 4 kids to Sarah's Fresh Market for over a decade. They used to live in Evans, Georgia, but now make the over half-hour trip from Harlem whenever they can. What's y'all's favorite thing to get here?
What is it?
The peaches and strawberry ice cream.
Yep, peach and strawberry ice cream for her. Mine's the chocolate with peanut butter in it.
The market just opened up this weekend, and General Manager Carissa Ruth says she couldn't be more excited.
I have been doing this for 6 years, and I love every minute of it. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
This comes after a long winter stretched into March, affecting the crop.
We've lost maybe 2/3 of the season, but we will have peaches all season long. Just a few less than last year, but the peaches are still coming off sweet and juicy like they've always been.
They get their peaches from Titan Farms, and with over 6,000 acres, it's the number 2 producer for peaches in the country behind California. Carissa says despite the cold hurdle, harvesting is in full swing and will be able to handle the peak demand they experienced in July. So first-time customers like Shadia Taylor can still come and visit.
This is my first time, and I'll definitely be back again because I do like the atmosphere out here.
You know, myself being from Virginia, I always thought that Georgia was the peach state, but it turns out that South Carolina actually produces 3 times the amount of peaches in pounds compared to Georgia. This according to the South Carolina Department of Agriculture.
Interesting stuff there, Craig. Thank you so much for that report. And good to hear that we will still have our peaches this season. Well, new information following a deadly crash involving a Richmond County deputy. The coroner has identified the driver killed as 17-year-old Cheyenne Grace. Officials say Grace was driving a 4-wheeler when she ended up in the front of a deputy at the intersection of Barton Chapel Road and Blossom Drive last night. According to the sheriff's office, the call came in around 9:20. The coroner tells us Grace was pronounced dead at the scene just after 10 p.m. Georgia State Patrol is now taking over that investigation. And Memorial Day is still a couple of days away, but some communities in the river all over the river region. Among the tears, there's also outrage in Uvalde, Texas, after law enforcement admitted to making mistakes when responding to the school shooting on Tuesday. Behind me here are the 21 victims, 19 fourth graders and 2 teachers. Dana Bacchus reports from Uvalde.
The Uvalde School District Police Chief's decision to wait before moving in on the gunman is now at the center of the mass shooting investigation. On Friday, Texas Public Safety Director Steve McCraw said the shooter was inside Robb Elementary School for more than an hour. At one point, nearly 20 officers stood by in the hallway under the belief an active attack was no longer underway.
Of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
Students trapped inside a classroom repeatedly called 911 begging for help.
She asked 911 to please send the police now.
19 children and 2 teachers were killed in a 4th grade classroom during the worst school shooting since Sandy Hook nearly a decade ago. In the aftermath, a church group is offering comfort from its K-9 team. Grief is compounded by outrage here in Uvalde. The changing timeline and details about police in action have many people asking why this happened, especially since Uvalde police have undergone active shooter training.
Why didn't they make the right decision? Why didn't they go in? They got their own assault rifles. They got their vests.
Christian and Jessica Garcia's daughter Kylie survived the shooting, but now the family and many in the community are questioning why police didn't act sooner.
One of the victims of another mass shooting was laid to rest today. Vice President Kamala Harris and activist Reverend Al Sharpton attended the funeral for Ruth Whitfield this afternoon. Whitfield is one of the 10 people shot and killed in Buffalo, New York. Harris and Sharpton both spoke at the service, addressing the racial motivation that was allegedly behind that shooting.
We will not allow small people to create fear in our communities, that we will not be afraid to stand up for what is right, to speak truth even when it may be difficult to hear and speak.
On May 14th, an 18-year-old gunman opened fire at a grocery store, killing 10 people and injuring 3 more. Authorities say the shooting was racially motivated. 2 people are dead and 3 more missing after a couple of boats crashed in the Wilmington River that's just south of downtown Savannah. That happened this morning. Officials say the call came in around 10:30. There were 9 people between all of the boats, with 3 on one and 6 on the other. 6 of the boaters were taken to the hospital after the crash. 2 later died from their injuries. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources is leading the investigation, along with the county's Marine Patrol. Still ahead, COVID cases on the rise again as people get ready for summer travel. And health officials say the surge has made its way to the Palmetto State. We'll take a look just after the break.
2022
Seat.
Police outside of Atlanta are investigating after a food delivery driver was found shot to death early Friday morning. Doorbell cameras show cars approach a house and capture the sound of gunshots. Tori Cooper was at that neighborhood with what authorities know so far.
This is the neighborhood right here along Oakwood and Manor Street where police say they found a person shot to death near one of the homes. Neighbors in the area telling us they believe the victim was targeted. Neighbors who live along Oakwood Manor believe this Ring camera video shows what led to a delivery man's death just after 1 a.m. Friday morning. Ring video shows a white sedan driving by a home as another car quickly follows behind it. Seconds later, a loud boom can be heard. Neighbors say they believe it was the sound of a gunshot. DeKalb police later confirmed a delivery man was shot to death outside one of the homes. Police did not describe the victim's car, but less than a minute after the loud boom, Ring camera video shows 2 cars speeding past the house once again. Neighbors telling CBS 46 they believe the delivery driver was carjacked after he was shot, but police wouldn't confirm.
DHEC is encouraging people in South Carolina to use common sense when attending gatherings this Memorial Day weekend. Cases are on the rise in the state for the first time since winter time. You can see from this information on DHEC, the average number of cases reported each week has nearly doubled what it was a month ago. The state's health department shows 7,000 cases were reported last week, up almost 25% from the week before. Still, the spike is not as severe as the Omicron surge. Back then, we saw upwards of 22,000 cases reported during that peak. One group of health experts are concerned about kids ages 5 to 11 because their vaccination numbers are lower than other age groups. At this point, just over half of all South Carolinians are eligible for a COVID vaccine and are fully vaccinated at this point in time. Taking a look at things on the Georgia side, this is a look at the latest data. This was updated a couple days ago on Wednesday. You can see about 11,000 cases were reported statewide this past week. 44 people have died and just over 400 Georgians were hospitalized. When you scroll to the bottom down here, if I'm able to real quick, you'll be able to see this map here, and it shows the cases or the rate of cases in each county. Just about all our cases are around 200. In Richmond County, about 200 were reported. In Columbia County, it comes in at around 175. Coming up next, a wounded Vietnam veteran reunites with the brothers in arms who saved him over 50 years ago as they honor fallen soldiers at a memorial in D.C.
And for any Memorial Day weekend plans that you do have, the forecast looks pretty good. It's going to be hot and dry by next week, though. We'll talk about the forecast going into Memorial Day coming up.